Alone on Christmas. My name is Sarah Miller. I am 72 years old. I live alone in a small house in a quiet town called Millbrook. This is my story about the Christmas that changed my life. It was December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. I was sitting in my living room looking at the empty walls. My house felt cold. Not cold because of the winter weather, cold because I was alone. My husband, Tom, died 5 years ago. We were married for 45 years. After he died, everything changed. My children grew up and moved away. My son, Michael, lives in California with his wife and 2 children. My daughter, Lisa, lives in New York with her family. They are busy with their lives. They call me sometimes, but they don't visit often. This Christmas, they were not coming to visit me. Michael called last week. "Mom, I'm sorry," he said. "We can't come this year. The flights are too expensive, and the kids have school activities." Lisa called too. "Mom, I'm so sorry. We have plans with my husband's family this year. Maybe next year we can visit." I said, "It's okay, I understand." But inside, my heart was breaking. Now Christmas was coming, and I would be alone. Again. I looked at the small Christmas tree in the corner of my living room. It was only 3 feet tall. I didn't want a big tree. What was the point? Nobody would see it except me. There were no presents under the tree. There was no one to give presents to. I thought about the old days. When Tom was alive, our house was always full of noise at Christmas. Michael and Lisa would come with their families. The grandchildren would run around, laughing and playing. The house smelled like cookies and Christmas dinner. There was music and talking and joy. Now there was only silence. I felt tears coming to my eyes. "Stop it, Sarah," I told myself. "You are being silly. Many people are alone. You should be grateful for what you have." But the truth was, I felt very lonely and very sad. That night, I went to bed early. I didn't want to think about Christmas anymore. That night, I had a strange dream. In my dream, Tom was standing in our living room. He looked young and healthy, like he did 30 years ago. He was smiling at me. "Sarah," he said, "don't be sad." "But I miss you," I said. "I'm so lonely without you." "I know," Tom said. "But Sarah, Christmas is not over yet. Something wonderful is going to happen." "What do you mean?" I asked. "You'll see," Tom said. "Christmas will bring you a gift, a very special gift." "What gift?" I asked. But Tom just smiled and started to fade away. "Tom, wait," I called, but he was gone. I woke up. It was morning. December 24th, Christmas Eve. I sat up in bed and thought about my dream. It felt so real. Tom's voice, his smile, his words about a gift. But it was just a dream. Dreams don't mean anything. I was being silly again. I got out of bed and went to the kitchen to make coffee. Outside, snow was falling. The world looked white and peaceful. After breakfast, I decided to go to the store. I needed some food for Christmas dinner. Even though I was alone, I should still eat something nice. I put on my warm coat, my hat, and my gloves. I took my walking stick. My legs are not as strong as they used to be, and walked slowly to the small grocery store in town. The store was busy. Many people were buying food for Christmas. Families were shopping together, talking and laughing. I felt invisible. Nobody looked at me. Nobody spoke to me. I bought a small chicken, some vegetables, and some bread. At the cash register, the young woman smiled at me. "Merry Christmas," she said cheerfully. "Merry Christmas," I replied quietly. I walked home slowly, carrying my small bag of groceries. The snow was getting heavier. It was beautiful, but it made walking difficult for an old woman like me. When I got home, I was tired. I put the groceries away and sat down in my favorite chair by the window. I watched the snow fall and thought about nothing. Time passed slowly. The afternoon turned into evening. Outside, the world was getting dark. I thought about making dinner, but I wasn't hungry. I just sat there, watching the snow, feeling empty inside. And then I heard something. A sound outside my door. At first, I thought I imagined it, but then I heard it again. Knock, knock, knock. Someone was at my door. I was confused. Nobody ever came to my house, especially not on Christmas Eve. Slowly, I stood up from my chair. I walked to the door holding my walking stick. My heart was beating fast. Who could it be? I opened the door. Standing on my front porch was a young man. He looked about 25 years old. He was tall, with dark hair and kind brown eyes. He was wearing a thin jacket that looked too light for the cold weather. He was shivering. But what shocked me most was his face. He looked familiar, very familiar. "Hello," the young man said. His voice was gentle. "I'm sorry to bother you. My name is Daniel." I stared at him. Why did he look so familiar? "Can I help you?" I asked. I hope so," Daniel said. He looked embarrassed. "My car broke down about a mile from here. I tried to walk to find help, but the snow is getting worse. I saw your light. I was wondering, is there a phone I could use to call for help?" I hesitated. I didn't know this young man. Should I let a stranger into my house? But it was Christmas Eve, and it was very cold outside, and there was something about his face, about his eyes, that I trusted. "Of course," I said. "Please come inside. You must be freezing." "Thank you so much," Daniel said gratefully. He stepped inside, and I closed the door behind him. He stood in my small hallway, looking around politely. Snow was melting from his hair and jacket. "Let me take your jacket," I said. "You can hang it by the heater to dry." "Thank you," Daniel said. He took off his thin jacket and I hung it up. "The phone is in the kitchen," I said. "Follow me." As we walked to the kitchen, I kept looking at Daniel. Why did he seem so familiar? Had I met him before? In the kitchen, I pointed to the phone on the wall. "There you are," I said. "Thank you," Daniel said. He picked up the phone and dialed a number. He waited. Then his face fell. "No answer," he said. "I was calling a towing company, but they must be closed for Christmas Eve." "Try another number," I suggested. Daniel tried 3 more numbers. Nobody answered. "I'm sorry," I said. "I think most businesses are closed tonight. It's Christmas Eve." Daniel nodded sadly. "You're right, I should have thought of that." He put the phone down and looked at me. "I'm sorry to bother you. I'll walk back to my car. Maybe I can sleep there until morning. Then I can get help." "Sleep in your car," I said, shocked. "In this weather, you'll freeze to death." "I don't want to cause you trouble," Daniel said. "Nonsense," I said firmly. Something inside me made the decision. "You'll stay here tonight. I have a guest room. You can sleep there, and in the morning, when the tow companies open, you can call for help." Daniel looked surprised. "Are you sure? I don't want to impose." "I'm sure," I said, and I was. For the first time in months, I felt certain about something. Besides, it's Christmas Eve. Nobody should be alone on Christmas Eve. As I said those words, I realized I was talking about myself too. Daniel smiled. It was a warm, beautiful smile. "Thank you," he said. "You're very kind. I'm very grateful." "It's nothing," I said. "Now you must be hungry. Let me make us some dinner." I made a simple dinner: soup, bread, and some cheese. It wasn't fancy, but it was warm and filling. Daniel and I sat at my small kitchen table and ate together. At first, we were quiet. I'm not used to having people in my house anymore, and Daniel seemed a little shy. But slowly, we started to talk. "This soup is delicious," Daniel said. "Thank you again for your kindness." "You're welcome," I said. "So, Daniel, where were you going when your car broke down?" Daniel looked down at his soup. "I was going to see my mother," he said quietly. "She lives about 50 miles from here. I haven't seen her in a long time. I wanted to surprise her for Christmas." "That's nice," I said. "I'm sure she'll be happy to see you." "I hope so," Daniel said, but he sounded unsure. "Why wouldn't she be?" I asked gently. Daniel was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "We had a fight. About 3 years ago, I said some things I shouldn't have said. She said some things too. We both got angry. And then we stopped talking to each other. For 3 years, we haven't spoken." "3 years is a long time," I said. "Yes," Daniel said. His voice was sad. "Every day I wanted to call her. Every day I wanted to say sorry, but I was too proud, too stubborn. I kept waiting for her to call me first, but she didn't. And I didn't call her, and the time just kept passing." I understood how he felt: pride and stubbornness. They can build walls between people, walls that get harder and harder to break down. "So why now?" I asked. "Why did you decide to see her now?" Daniel smiled sadly. "Because last week I had a dream. I dreamed about my father. He died when I was 10 years old. In the dream, he told me, 'Life is short, Daniel. Don't waste it being angry. Go see your mother. Tell her you're sorry before it's too late.'" My heart stopped. A dream about a dead father telling him not to waste time. Just like my dream about Tom. "When I woke up," Daniel continued, "I knew I had to come. I couldn't wait anymore. So I got in my car and started driving. I wanted to surprise her on Christmas, to show her that I still love her, that I'm sorry for everything." Tears came to my eyes. This young man's story touched my heart. "That's beautiful," I said. "I'm sure your mother will be very happy." "I hope so," Daniel said. Then he looked at me carefully. "What about you? Do you have family?" "Yes," I said. "I have 2 children, a son and a daughter, and 4 grandchildren." "Are they coming for Christmas?" Daniel asked. "No," I said. My voice was quiet. "They live far away. They're busy. I'll be alone for Christmas." Daniel looked sad. "I'm sorry," he said. "It's okay," I said, trying to smile. "That's life. Children grow up. They have their own families, their own lives." "But still," Daniel said, "you must miss them." "I do," I admitted, "very much." We sat in silence for a moment. Then Daniel said something that surprised me. "You remind me of my mother." "I do," I said. "Yes," Daniel said. "She's kind like you and strong. She raised me by herself after my father died. She worked hard to give me everything I needed. She always put me first." "She sounds like a wonderful woman," I said. "She is," Daniel said. "And I was a terrible son. I took her for granted. I got angry over something stupid, and then I was too proud to apologize." "You're going to apologize now," I said. "That's what matters." "I hope I'm not too late," Daniel said quietly. Those words hung in the air between us. I hope I'm not too late. After dinner, we moved to the living room. I made tea, and we sat by my small Christmas tree. Daniel looked at the tree. "It's a nice tree," he said. "It's small," I said. "Small doesn't mean not nice," Daniel said. "When I was a boy, my mother and I always had a small tree. We couldn't afford a big one, but we loved it anyway. We would make decorations from paper. We would string popcorn. We would sit together and look at the tree and feel happy." His words painted a picture in my mind. A mother and son, alone but happy, making the best of what they had. "That sounds lovely," I said. "It was," Daniel said. "Those were good times. I wish I had appreciated them more when I had them." We sat together, drinking tea, talking about memories. Daniel told me about his childhood, about his mother reading him stories at night, about learning to ride a bike, about his first day of school. I told him about Tom, about our wedding day, about when Michael and Lisa were born, about family vacations and holidays. Time passed and I didn't even notice. It felt good to talk to someone, to share memories, to not be alone. Finally, Daniel yawned. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm getting tired." "Of course," I said. "You've had a long day. Let me show you the guest room." I led Daniel upstairs to the guest room. It was small but clean. The bed had fresh sheets. "The bathroom is across the hall," I said. "If you need anything, just call. My room is at the end of the hall." "Thank you," Daniel said. "For everything, you've been so kind to a stranger." "You're not a stranger anymore," I said with a smile. "Good night, Daniel." "Good night. I'm sorry I don't know your name," Daniel said. "It's Sarah," I said. "Sarah Miller." Daniel smiled. "Good night, Sarah. Thank you again." I went to my own room and got ready for bed. As I was putting on my nightgown, I heard Daniel walking around in the guest room. The old house made sounds when people walked. I got into bed, but I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Daniel, about his story, about his mother. I thought about my own children. When was the last time I told them I loved them? When was the last time I really talked to them, not just quick phone calls about nothing important? Life is short. Don't waste it being angry. Daniel's father said that in his dream. Tom said something similar in my dream. Christmas will bring you a gift. Was Daniel the gift? This young man who knocked on my door, who needed help, who made me feel less alone. I was thinking about these things when I heard something strange. Daniel was crying. The walls in my old house are thin. I could hear him in the guest room, crying quietly. It was a sad sound, the sound of someone who was hurting. I got out of bed and put on my robe. I walked quietly to the guest room door. I knocked softly. "Daniel," I said, "are you okay?" The crying stopped. There was silence. Then Daniel said, "I'm fine. I'm sorry if I woke you." "You didn't wake me," I said. "Can I come in?" Another silence. Then, "Okay." I opened the door. The room was dark except for the moonlight coming through the window. Daniel was sitting on the edge of the bed. His face was wet with tears. I sat down next to him. "What's wrong?" I asked gently. Daniel took a deep breath. "I was looking at this," he said. He held up something. In the moonlight, I could see it was a photograph. "May I see it?" I asked. Daniel handed me the photograph. I looked at it in the moonlight. It showed a young woman holding a small boy. They were both smiling. The woman looked happy. The boy looked about 5 years old. "Is this you and your mother?" I asked. "Yes," Daniel said. "That was taken about 20 years ago. A few months before my father died, we were happy then. You're still happy, I said. You just forgot for a while, but tomorrow you'll see your mother again. You'll tell her you're sorry, she'll forgive you, and you'll be happy again. What if she doesn't forgive me? Daniel said. His voice was full of fear. What if I hurt her too much? What if it's too late? It's never too late, I said firmly. A mother's love doesn't die. She'll forgive you. I know she will. How can you be sure? Daniel asked. Because I'm a mother, I said. I know how mothers feel. Your mother has been missing you for 3 years, just like you've been missing her. She's been waiting for you to come back. And tomorrow, when you knock on her door, she'll be so happy to see you. Daniel looked at me. In the moonlight, I could see hope in his eyes. Do you really think so? I know so, I said. Daniel wiped his tears. Thank you, Sarah. You're very wise. I'm just old, I said with a smile. When you get old, you learn some things. One thing I've learned is that love is stronger than pride. Always. I stood up to leave, but then I noticed something. On the nightstand next to the bed, there was another photograph. This one was in a frame. It was the photograph that usually sits on that nightstand. It was a picture of my son, Michael, when he was about 25 years old. I picked up the photograph, I looked at it, then I looked at Daniel. And suddenly, I understood. I understood why Daniel looked so familiar, why I felt I knew him. He looked like Michael, not exactly the same but similar, the same dark hair, the same kind eyes, the same gentle face. Tears came to my eyes. What's wrong? Daniel asked, concerned. Nothing, I said. You remind me of my son when he was your age. Daniel smiled. Is that a good thing? Yes, I said. It's a very good thing. I put the photograph back on the nightstand. Try to get some sleep, I said. Tomorrow is Christmas, a day for new beginnings. Good night, Sarah, Daniel said. Good night, Daniel. I went back to my room. I got into bed and closed my eyes. And I thought about Tom's words in my dream. Christmas will bring you a gift. Maybe he was right. Maybe Christmas had brought me Daniel, not forever, just for one night. But maybe that was enough. Maybe that was the gift. I woke up early on Christmas morning. The sun was just starting to come up. The world outside was white with snow. Everything looked clean and new. I got dressed and went downstairs quietly. I didn't want to wake Daniel. The poor boy needed sleep after his long day yesterday. In the kitchen, I started making breakfast. I wanted to make something special for Christmas morning. I made pancakes, bacon, and fresh coffee. The smell filled the house. As I was cooking, I heard footsteps on the stairs. Daniel appeared in the kitchen doorway. Good morning, he said with a smile. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, I said. Did you sleep well? Very well, Daniel said. Your guest bed is very comfortable, and thank you again for letting me stay. You're welcome, I said. Now sit down. Breakfast is almost ready. We ate breakfast together. The morning light came through the kitchen window. Everything felt peaceful and good. This is delicious, Daniel said, eating his pancakes. You're a wonderful cook. Thank you, I said. It's nice to cook for someone again. I usually just eat simple things when I'm alone. After breakfast, Daniel tried calling the tow company again. This time, someone answered. Yes, hello, Daniel said into the phone. My car broke down yesterday on Route 9. Yes, about a mile past the Miller house. Yes, I can wait. What, really, that long? Daniel's face fell. Okay, yes, I understand, thank you. He hung up and looked at me. They can't come until tomorrow, he said. They're very busy with all the snow yesterday, and today is Christmas, so they only have one driver working. Tomorrow, I said. But what about your mother? You wanted to see her today. I know, Daniel said sadly, but my car is stuck in the snow. There's no way to get it out without a tow truck, and there are no buses running today because it's Christmas. He sat down at the table, looking defeated. I guess it wasn't meant to be, he said quietly. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe I'm not supposed to see her. Don't say that, I said. But inside, my heart was sinking too. I had wanted so much for Daniel to see his mother, to make things right. We sat in silence for a moment. Then suddenly, I had an idea. Daniel, I said, where exactly does your mother live? In a town called Riverside, Daniel said, about 50 miles from here. Riverside, I repeated. I thought about it. I know that town. I have a car. It's old, but it works. I could drive you there. Daniel looked surprised. What? No, Sarah, I couldn't ask you to do that. You're not asking, I said. I'm offering. But it's 50 miles, Daniel said. And it's Christmas Day, and you don't even know me. I know you well enough, I said. You're a good person who wants to see his mother, who wants to say sorry. That's all I need to know. But what about you? Daniel asked. Don't you want to stay home on Christmas? I thought about my empty house, my small tree, my lonely Christmas. No, I said honestly. I don't want to stay home. Helping you will make me happy. Please, let me do this. Daniel looked at me for a long moment, then he smiled. Okay, he said, if you're sure. I'm sure, I said, and I was. An hour later, we were in my car, driving toward Riverside. The roads were covered with snow, but they had been plowed. My old car moved slowly but steadily. I hadn't driven this far in a long time, but it felt good to be going somewhere, to have a purpose, to not be alone on Christmas. Daniel sat in the passenger seat, looking out the window at the white landscape. He was quiet, and I could tell he was nervous. Are you okay? I asked. I'm nervous, Daniel admitted. What if my mother doesn't want to see me? She will, I said confidently. Trust me. We drove in silence for a while. Then Daniel said, Tell me about your children, about Michael and Lisa. So I told him. I told him about Michael, who was always smart and serious, who became an engineer, who married a nice woman and had 2 children. I told him about Lisa, who was creative and artistic, who became a teacher, who married a kind man and had 2 children. I told him how proud I was of them, how much I loved them, but also how much I missed them. When was the last time you saw them? Daniel asked. About a year ago, I said. Michael came for a weekend with his family. It was nice, but too short. Lisa. I haven't seen Lisa in almost 2 years. Have you told them how much you miss them? Daniel asked gently. I was quiet. Not really, I finally said. I don't want them to feel guilty. They have their own lives, their own problems. I don't want to be a burden. I don't think you could ever be a burden, Daniel said. You're wonderful. If you were my mother, I would visit you all the time. His words made tears come to my eyes. That's kind of you to say, I said. It's true, Daniel said. Sarah, can I tell you something? Of course, I said. Last night, when I was in the guest room, I was looking at the photograph of your son, the one on the nightstand. Yes, I said, that's Michael. "He looks happy in that picture," Daniel said. And I thought about my own mother, about all the years I missed with her, about all the Christmases we could have spent together but didn't because I was too stubborn to say sorry. "Don't think about that," I said. "Think about today, about the future." "I am," Daniel said, "but I'm also thinking about you. Sarah, your children should know how much you miss them. They should know that you're lonely, not to make them feel guilty, but because they love you, and they would want to help." "Maybe," I said quietly. "Not maybe," Daniel said firmly. "Definitely call them today, after we see my mother. Call Michael and Lisa, tell them how you feel." I didn't answer, but I thought about his words. We drove for another hour. Finally, we saw a sign. Riverside 5 miles. Daniel sat up straighter. His hands were shaking a little. "Are you okay?" I asked. "I'm scared," Daniel said honestly. "That's normal," I said. "But remember, she's your mother. She loves you. Everything will be okay." A few minutes later, we were driving through Riverside. It was a small town, similar to Millbrook. Daniel gave me directions to his mother's house. "Turn left here," he said. "Then right at the next street. Her house is the blue one on the corner." My heart was beating fast. I was nervous too, even though this wasn't my mother. We turned onto the street. I saw the blue house. It was small but well kept. There was a Christmas wreath on the front door. Smoke was coming from the chimney. I parked the car in front of the house. Daniel sat there, staring at the house. He didn't move. "This is it," I said softly. "Yes," Daniel said, but he still didn't move. "Daniel," I said gently, "you came all this way, don't stop now." Daniel took a deep breath. "You're right," he said. He opened the car door and got out. I got out too. We walked together up the path to the front door. At the door, Daniel stopped again. He looked at me. "Will you come with me?" he asked. "Please." "Of course," I said. I took his hand and squeezed it gently. "I'm right here." Daniel rang the doorbell. We waited. The reunion. The door opened. Standing there was a woman about my age. She had gray hair and kind eyes. She was wearing a Christmas sweater and an apron. When she saw Daniel, her face went white. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. "Hi, Mom," Daniel said quietly. His voice was shaking. For a moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then Daniel's mother made a sound, a small cry, and she rushed forward. She threw her arms around Daniel and held him tight. "Daniel," she sobbed. "Daniel, my baby, you came home, you came home." Daniel was crying too. He hugged his mother and said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I should have called. I should have come sooner. I'm so sorry." "SHH," his mother said, still holding him tight. "You're here now. That's all that matters. You're here." I stood there watching them, and tears were running down my face. It was such a beautiful moment, such a powerful moment. Finally, Daniel's mother pulled back a little. She looked at her son's face, touching his cheeks like she couldn't believe he was real. "Let me look at you," she said. "Oh, Daniel, you look so thin. Haven't you been eating? Come inside. I'll make you food. I have leftovers from Christmas dinner. I made too much, like always, hopping." Her voice trailed off, but I understood. She had been hopping Daniel would come. Maybe she had been hopping every Christmas for the past 3 years. "Mom," Daniel said, "this is Sarah. She helped me. She let me stay at her house last night when my car broke down. And this morning she drove me here." Daniel's mother looked at me for the first time. Her eyes were still full of tears, but she smiled warmly. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you so much for bringing my son back to me." "You're welcome," I said. "I didn't do much. Daniel wanted to come, I just drove the car." "You did more than that," Daniel said. "You gave me courage. You told me it would be okay. You were right." Daniel's mother took my hand. "Please, come inside, both of you. It's cold out here." We went inside. The house was warm and cozy. It smelled like Christmas, pine trees, cinnamon, and home cooking. In the living room, there was a Christmas tree covered with decorations. Many of them looked handmade. Under the tree, there was one present wrapped in simple paper. Daniel saw the present and looked at his mother. "Is that?" "For you," his mother said quietly. "I got you a present every Christmas, even when you weren't here, just in case you came home." Daniel's face crumpled. He hugged his mother again. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I wasted so much time. 3 years, 3 Christmases." "But you're here now," his mother said firmly, even though she was crying. "That's what matters. You're home for Christmas. That's the best present I could ever ask for." Daniel's mother insisted that I stay for Christmas dinner. She wouldn't take no for an answer. "You brought my son home to me," she said. "The least I can do is feed you. Besides, I made way too much food. Please, it would make me happy." So I stayed. The 3 of us sat at the kitchen table, eating leftovers from Christmas dinner: turkey, mashed potatoes, vegetables, and pie. It was delicious. But more than the food, I enjoyed the company. Daniel and his mother talked and talked. They had 3 years to catch up on. Daniel told his mother about his life, his job, his apartment, his friends. His mother told him about her life, her job at the library, her book club, her garden. Sometimes they laughed, sometimes they cried, but mostly they were just happy to be together again. I watched them and felt my heart swell with joy. This was what Christmas was supposed to be about: family, forgiveness, love. After dinner, we sat in the living room. Daniel opened his present, a warm winter coat. "I noticed your old coat was getting thin," his mother said. "I thought you might need a new one." Daniel hugged the coat like it was made of gold. "Thank you, Mom," he said. "I love it." His mother smiled. Then she looked at me. "Sarah, I want to thank you again, not just for bringing Daniel here, but for taking care of him, for giving him a place to stay when he needed help." "It was my pleasure," I said. "Daniel is a wonderful young man. You raised him well." "Thank you," she said. "You know, when Daniel called me 3 years ago when we had that fight, I said some terrible things I regretted immediately. I wanted to call him back and apologize, but I was too proud, too stubborn. And then days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years." "I know the feeling," Daniel said quietly. "Every night I prayed that he would come home," his mother continued. "Every Christmas I hoped he would knock on my door, and today he finally did. It's a Christmas miracle." "It is," I agreed. Daniel's mother looked at me thoughtfully. "Sarah, you said you have children too. Where are they today?" I hesitated. "They live far away. They're spending Christmas with their families." "So you're alone?" she asked gently. "Yes," I said. Daniel's mother reached over and took my hand. "Not today," she said. "Today you're with family, our family. Thank you for spending Christmas with us." Her words touched my heart. For the first time in years, I didn't feel alone on Christmas. It was getting late. The sun was setting. I knew I should start driving home soon. "Let me drive you home," Daniel's mother said. "Daniel can come too. It's the least we can do." "No, no," I said. "You two should spend time together. I'll be fine driving home." "Are you sure?" Daniel asked. "I'm sure," I said. "Besides, I like driving. It gives me time to think." Before I left, Daniel walked me to my car. We stood there in the cold evening air. "Thank you, Sarah," Daniel said. "For everything, you changed my life." "You changed mine too," I said honestly. "Yesterday I was alone and sad. Today I feel happy. You gave me that gift." "I think we gave each other gifts," Daniel said with a smile. "Now will you do something for me?" "What?" I asked. "Call your children. Today, tonight. Tell them how you feel. Tell them you miss them. Promise me." I thought about it, then I nodded. "I promise." Daniel hugged me. It was like hugging Michael. "Merry Christmas, Sarah, and thank you again." "Merry Christmas, Daniel." I got in my car and drove home. The drive took over an hour. The whole time I thought about Daniel's words. Call your children. Tell them how you feel. When I got home, it was dark. My house looked cold and empty from the outside. But inside, I turned on the lights and started a fire in the fireplace. Soon, the house felt warm. I looked at the phone for a long time. Then I picked it up and dialed Michael's number. It rang 3 times. Then I heard my son's voice. "Mom, is that you?" "Yes, Michael, it's me." "Is everything okay?" He sounded worried. "You usually don't call this late." "Everything is fine," I said. "I just wanted to call to say Merry Christmas." "Merry Christmas, Mom. I'm sorry again that we couldn't come visit. The flights were just so." "Michael," I interrupted gently, "I need to tell you something." "What is it?" Now he sounded really worried. "I miss you," I said. The words came out in a rush. "I miss you so much. I miss seeing you and your family. I miss being part of your life. I know you're busy. I know you have your own family. But Michael, I'm lonely. I'm alone most of the time, and I just wanted you to know." There was silence on the other end. Then Michael's voice came back, and it was thick with emotion. "Mom, I didn't know. I thought you were okay. You always said you were fine." "I said I was fine because I didn't want you to worry. But Michael, I'm not fine. I need my family. I need you." "Mom," Michael said, and now he was crying. "I'm so sorry. I should have known. I should have called more. I should have visited more. I'm a terrible son." "No," I said firmly. "You're a wonderful son. I'm proud of you. But we need to do better, both of us. We need to stay connected." "You're right," Michael said. "Mom, listen. Let me talk to Sarah, to my wife. We'll figure something out. Maybe we can come visit in January, or maybe you can come here. We have an extra room. You could stay with us for a few weeks." "I would like that," I said. My heart felt lighter. "I love you, Mom," Michael said. "I love you too, Michael." After I hung up, I felt tears running down my face, but they were happy tears. Then I called Lisa. That conversation was similar. She cried. I cried. We talked about how we had both been hiding our true feelings, how we needed to be more honest with each other. "I'll call you every week, Mom," Lisa promised. "And I'll come visit soon, I promise." After both calls, I felt different. Lighter, happier, more hopeful. I looked at my small Christmas tree and smiled. It didn't look so small anymore. It looked just right. The next day was December 26th, Boxing Day, as some people call it, the day after Christmas. I woke up feeling better than I had felt in months, maybe years. I made breakfast and thought about the past 2 days, about Daniel knocking on my door, about driving him to see his mother, about their reunion, about calling Michael and Lisa. Christmas had brought me a gift. Daniel was right. Tom was right in my dream. Around noon, I heard a car outside. I looked out the window and saw Daniel and his mother getting out of a car. I opened the door before they could knock. "Daniel, what are you doing here?" "We came to check on you," Daniel said with a smile, "and to bring you something." His mother was carrying a large dish covered with foil. "Leftover Christmas dinner," she explained. "I told you I made too much. I thought you might enjoy some." "That's so kind," I said. "Please come in." They came inside. We sat in the living room and I served tea. Daniel's mother looked around at my small house. "You have a lovely home," she said. "Thank you," I said. "It's quiet, sometimes too quiet, but it's home." "Well, it won't be quiet today," Daniel's mother said with a smile. "We'd like to invite you to lunch at our house if you're free." "Really?" I said. "Really?" Daniel said. "Mom and I talked. We want you to be part of our Christmas celebration. You made our reunion possible. And besides, we like you. You're good company." I felt tears coming to my eyes again. "I would love that," I said. So I went to lunch at Daniel's mother's house. We ate together, talked, and laughed. It felt wonderful to be with people, to be part of something. As I was leaving that evening, Daniel's mother hugged me. "Sarah," she said, "I want you to know something. You always have a place at our table for Christmas, for any holiday, or just any regular day. You're family now." "Thank you," I said, hugging her back. "That means more to me than you know." The next few days passed quickly. Daniel got his car fixed and drove back to his home to get his things. But he came back to Riverside to spend more time with his mother. And every time he visited his mother, he also came to visit me. On New Year's Eve, Daniel's mother invited me to celebrate with them. The three of us sat together, watching the countdown on TV and welcoming the new year. "To new beginnings," Daniel's mother said, raising her glass. "To family," Daniel said. "To Christmas miracles," I added. We clinked our glasses together. As the new year began, I thought about how different my life was from just 1 week ago. 1 week ago, I was alone, sad, and hopeless. Now I had new friends, new family, new hope. In January, Michael and his family came to visit me. They stayed for a whole week. It was wonderful to see my grandchildren running around my house again, to hear laughter and noise, to feel alive. Lisa called me every week just like she promised. We talked for hours sometimes, making up for lost time. In February, I went to California to visit Michael. In March, I went to New York to visit Lisa. And throughout it all, I stayed in touch with Daniel and his mother. We became close friends, real family. A year passed. Christmas came again. This time, I wasn't alone. Michael and his family came to visit. Lisa and her family came too. For the first time in 5 years, all of my children and grandchildren were together in my house for Christmas. But I also invited Daniel and his mother to join us. My small house was full of people, full of noise, full of laughter, full of love. On Christmas Eve, after dinner, Daniel and I stood together by the Christmas tree. This year, the tree was big. Michael and the grandchildren had decorated it with so many ornaments that you could barely see the branches. "Remember last year," Daniel asked, "when I knocked on your door?" "How could I forget?" I said. That night changed everything. For both of us, Daniel agreed. You saved me, Sarah. You gave me the courage to see my mother again, to make things right. And you saved me, I said. You reminded me that life isn't over, that there's always hope. That family is what matters most. Christmas brought me to you, Daniel said. I thought I was just looking for help with my car, but I found something more important. I found a friend, a grandmother, really. I smiled, and I found another grandson. We hugged. Around us, my family was talking and laughing. Michael was telling jokes. Lisa was singing Christmas songs with the children. Daniel's mother was helping in the kitchen. This was what Christmas was supposed to be. This was what life was supposed to be. Not perfect, not without problems, but full of love, full of connection, full of people who cared about each other. I looked at Tom's photograph on the mantel. In my mind, I said, "Thank you, Tom, you were right. Christmas brought me a gift, the best gift, not just Daniel, but a reminder of what matters, a reminder to live, to love, to not give up." 3 years later. 3 years have passed since that Christmas when Daniel knocked on my door. I am 75 years old now. My house is no longer quiet. Michael visits regularly. Lisa calls me every few days. My grandchildren come to stay during school holidays. Daniel got married last year. His wife, Emily, is a lovely woman. They visit often, and Daniel's mother comes with them. Last month, Daniel and Emily told us they're going to have a baby. I'll be a great-grandmother. Daniel's mother will be a grandmother. What should the baby call you? Emily asked me. Whatever feels right, I said. Aunt Sarah, Grandma Sarah, I don't mind. I'm just happy to be part of your family. You're not just part of the family, Daniel said. You are family. And it's true. Sometimes family isn't just about blood. It's about love. It's about the people who show up when you need them. The people who care. Christmas brought him to me, a young man needing help, but what he really brought was hope, change, life. People ask me sometimes, what's the secret to happiness? I tell them, don't wait, don't let pride or fear keep you from the people you love. Life is short. Call the people you miss. Visit the people who matter. Say, I love you. Say, I'm sorry. Say, I need you. And don't be afraid to open your door to strangers. Sometimes, the best gifts come in unexpected packages. That Christmas night, when Daniel knocked on my door, I could have turned him away. I could have said no. I could have been afraid. But I opened the door, and in doing so, I opened my heart. Christmas brought him to me, but really, Christmas brought us to each other. And that made all the difference. Key vocabulary asterisk. Family words asterisk. Husband N, a married man. Wife N, a married woman. Son N, male child. Daughter N, female child. Grandchildren N, children of your children. Mother N, female parent. Emotion words asterisk. Lonely edge, feeling alone and sad. Sad edge, feeling unhappy. Happy edge, feeling good and joyful. Grateful edge, feeling thankful. Hopeful edge, believing good things will happen. Sorry edge, feeling bad about something you did. Christmas words asterisk. Christmas tree N, decorated tree at Christmas. Present gift N, something you give to someone. Christmas Eve N, December 24th. Christmas Day N, December 25th. Celebrate V, do special things for a holiday. Action words Asterisk. Knock V. Hit a door to get attention. Visit V. Go to see someone. Forgive V. Stop being angry at someone. Hug V. Put your arms around someone. Cry V. Tears fall from your eyes. Useful phrases. Asterisk. I'm sorry. Apologizing. A thank you. Showing gratitude. I miss you. Feeling sad because someone is not there. A Merry Christmas. Christmas greeting. I love you. Expressing love. Questions for discussion. Asterisk. 1. Why was Sarah alone on Christmas? 2. How did Daniel find Sarah's house? 3. Why hadn't Daniel talked to his mother for 3 years? 4. What did Sarah do to help Daniel? 5. What happened when Daniel saw his mother? 6. What did Sarah learn from this experience? 7. How did Sarah's life change after meeting Daniel? 8. What is the main message of this story? Moral of the story. Asterisk. Family is the most important thing. It's never too late to say sorry. Sometimes strangers become family. Christmas is about love and forgiveness. We should tell people we love them before it's too late.